Hi, guys. Welcome to the show. So nice to see you all. I'm here today for a very special event for a nice little broadcast that we put together with my friend Basil's Bezos. I have just sent you a link to his Instagram account. A lot of interesting posts there, a lot of his own watches and other horological goodies. So check it out. But today he's going to share with us, I think, a nice little spread. In fact, this was supposed to be a new watch arrival, just one. But he's going to bless us with not one, not two, but three watches, I think, and maybe something special in addition.
That's exactly what I have in store today, Lord. And thank you so much for having me today.
Hey, it's an honor, really. So where do we start? There's so many interesting things. I don't even really have a pick, so I will just let you start with whichever one you would like.
You bet. Yeah. So I'll hop right into kind of chronological order. I actually had a very busy month in adding to my collection. I actually obtained three watches that have been on my radar for a while. I really went for it this month. So it was something that I wanted to kind of share with the community. Two of the watches I've actually kind of lightly introduced in my Instagram. The
Hmm.
third piece is something that I believe Lord and maybe one other person knows of. So it'll be a little bit of a surprise for everybody.
Nice. So this is basically turning out to be one of those impromptu collection reviews almost. It's like a nice
Yeah.
sub collection.
Yeah, exactly.
And I did have a moment like that earlier in February. You know, there were a couple of watches that I've been looking at for such a long time, and suddenly two great deals seemingly, materialized in front of me. So I had
Sure.
to jump and grab them. So I feel this. I feel this very much so.
Opportunities are those, you just have to act on them when they're available. Each of the three pieces were obtained under retail. And with my research, they were priced pretty much lower than anything that I saw as far as an ending listing and what was currently for sale. So, as far as taking advantage of promotions, working with sellers directly, kind of off the grid of internet websites, you're really able to get a great deal right now. And my motto is deals can be fine when you're least looking for them. Put a few items on your watch list. Maybe the items will be reduced online.
Mhm.
Perhaps you can speak with the seller if it's something you really want and really capitalize on some cool stuff that's out there. So, but without
That's
further ado,
that's amazing. Stars align sometimes, right,
you bet. Yeah,
Basil?
absolutely. So I'm going to start us off, see if I can flip it around and get a little closer look here. But we have a Cartier Santos large.
Oh, nice. The blue
Just kind of,
face one.
yes,
Yeah?
sir.
With the PVD bezel.
Yes, this is PVD. It also has a nice blue rubber strap, and it also comes with a stainless steel metal bracelet. Great piece. It's actually new for 2022. Pretty hard to get, and for something like this, it was actually really kind of neat to find it, under retail for a piece that was not really readily available. So again, you can find some deals. So it does come with a metal bracelet. Have that right here. I actually went right into the rubber, but nice classic Santos. And when a lot of people say large, you think of it being an oversized watch. It really isn't. It's 40 millimeters, which
Hmm.
I think we all kind of agree is a comfortable size for most wrists. The medium is one that I know a lot of folks have been kind of gravitating towards, though. It would have been available in the PVD. So went with
Right.
the large. It's a perfect fit, and it's been actually a lot of fun.
And honestly, I like how they basically designed the whole line or redesigned and revived the whole line. Of course, medium a lot of people gravitate towards it, like you said, and it's in a way it's more unisex, right? I know a couple of people in the community, who kind of switch it around with their wives and significant others, which is a great idea. Um, but on the large, there's also the date window, right? Which
That
some
is
people
correct.
prefer. So it's a different design in a way, and I appreciate the fact that they made it in that way, right? There's something for everyone in that lineup.
You bet. Absolutely. Pardon the glare.
Oh, no worries. No worries. And, I just want to share some of the love that's coming. This was one of the first people who joined the
Love
stream.
this.
Happy to see my friends, LHV and Basils. Have a good show. JJ is here, Gentlemen's Hangout Podcast. Look at this. Glad to see you guys on. Boston Collector. Big Meech is having his lunch break, eating his burgers. And yeah, Boston Collector is here. Lee P is here. And JJ says, I also prefer large. Medium is good if you need to share with the wife. As long as you're not sharing your wife, I'm good with that point as well.
Right. Cool. So yeah,
Very
that
good.
was my new Santos. So
That's
next up,
I know you like boxing as well. I had recently spotted Ryan Garcia wearing the same watch while he was playing poker. The
nice.
same blue bezel, blue face on the rubber bracelet. So it was it's a nice thing to see one of the community pick it up as well. It's a beautiful watch. Wear it in great health.
I will absolutely. No, modern kind of stylistic of a classic for sure. So next up, I have this
Oh,
guy. Doo-doo-doo.
all right.
Yeah, the ceramic. So it's the Panerai. It's a PAM 959, 42 millimeters. Awesome diver. Something that yeah, I really love. I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to try to show you the dial. And you're
Mhm.
welcome if you want to hop online or on my Instagram. This dial, it's like a beautiful gray matte.
Very nice.
Thank you. So the 42, in this case is just awesome. It just fits so well on the wrist.
Let's see. I have one of your wrist shots here with this watch on. Man, that classic cushion case is so beautiful. It's a classic.
If you swipe over, you'll have a nice zoomed in. Yes.
Oh man, it looks like pebbled calf grain leather,
Yeah.
like those classy Epsom style Hermes bands, and
Right. Yeah.
it's
It does have
great.
that texture to it for sure. And I like the little pops of the lighter blue. Ceramic bezel is fantastic.
Hmm.
It's funny. I've always been a big fan of blue, and my first two pieces, as I introduced today, are blue. I don't have a lot of blue in my collection up until these two acquisitions. So they've been a lot of fun. I've been,
Yeah.
rotating them in my, my arsenal, and they've been terrific.
I mean, I was gonna say someone likes the color blue, uh, but yeah, I'm glad you you
Yeah.
have you have gotten around to add it. And one of the things that I love about Panerai watches is, of course, that fusile seconds hand, right, which I have in my minute counter in the Breguet Type 20. I just find that to be a very lovely touch. And here it's in some sort of powder blue or baby blue.
Yeah.
Again, it's a nice little detail.
Yeah, a little contrast from the actual bezel itself. The strap, the rubber strap, is blue. That is kind of more towards the bezel. A little hard to tell in that picture, but just you kind of see it here. It's like a darker blue that kind of matches the bezel pretty well with the diving band, and comes with an extra strap too, and tools to change everything over.
is there a model number or like a special edition name for this submersible?
This piece is actually 959. So it's a PAM 00959. It does come in a few different styles. There's a black bezel. Obviously, there's like the more the classic kind of stainless bezels and in bigger sizes too as well.
Uh, a few more comments here. This congratulates you on the Cartier. Mamba says, two legends on the show today. Thank you so much, Mamba. Boston says, Panerai has some nice watches. Haven't tried any on. You're missing out. I mean, look, I have quite a wimpy wrist too, but Panerai is it's a vibe, as they would say nowadays. It's a different ethos. You know, they are supposed to be larger than life. They're supposed to be big watches. They're supposed to be worn big. So if you are looking for one oversized sports watch in your collection, you just can't go wrong with a Panerai, if you ask me.
I agree.
This says cool dial pattern for the Panerai. And Gentleman's Hangout JJ says, can you tell the audience your approximate wrist size?
So yes, I would say just a hair over 6.5, so like about a 6'6", kind of trending to a 6'7", 3/4. I kind of fit in between the two sizes, so I may find it to be a little snug with a true 6.5, but if you give me like a half link from there, I'm usually right on the button.
Mm-hmm. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a stainless steel watch. It's just the finish maybe that made it look to Boston Collector like it's titanium, right?
Stainless steel, correct? Yeah, and the bezel itself is ceramic, so it has that nice gleam to it. They do make it in a lot of beautiful materials like carbon and so on too, as well, of course.
I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this was the Cartier that Basil shared earlier with that blue face and blue PVD bezel, which, as he put it, is a great modern iteration of a true classic. First truly designed men's wristwatch, guys. Don't forget it. Cartier has a lot of haters over the years and still today, but this is a watch that has a lot of history, a lot of heritage, and as you may or may not know, the screws on that bezel are supposed to remind you of those riveted plates of the contemporary planes, because this was designed for the pilot, for the gentleman pilots, Santos Dumont, by his friend Cartier, and that's still reflected to this day, that aviation heritage, by those rivets that decorate the bezel and the bracelet. Those
absolutely. So last but not least, this is a watch that will be an official unboxing for the first time seen here.
Oh, it's a Rolex.
The little tchotchkes are falling out, but it is a Rolex.
And so the red writing on the dial.
Yep, it's the Deepsea, 43 millimeters. All right. So I still even have the wrap from, it was an eBay purchase. So I've been wearing around the house. Pretty sure I'm gonna hold on to it, but never hurts to let that buying ether wear out a little bit and make sure it's definitely the right choice, which I can say today it definitely is.
Amazing. So we have the stainless steel SD43. Now, because you highlighted that it's an eBay purchase, I want to talk a little bit about that process, because I know to this day, a lot of people really shy away from buying on eBay, even on Chrono24 in general. online purchases in watches have tremendously increased, but when it comes to pre-owned stuff, a lot of times people shy away from eBay because of the early reputation that wasn't so great. But eBay now offers a number of different services, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe you can walk us through your process, what encouraged you to make this purchase, and why you are holding on to it, why you are feeling satisfied at the end of that process.
Sure. So basically, just from soup to nuts, I've been an eBay member as far as even a seller goes for roughly 20 years. So I've really seen it all from both the buyer and seller standpoint. eBay is a company that really prides itself on buyer protection and buyer safety. So when you're making a purchase with eBay, if you have any problems, they're gonna side you as the buyer. So I wouldn't shy away from it if it's a deal that is good for you. Also, if there's a promotion like the one I ran into, I was actually able to get a Steel Sports Rolex for under retail, tax included. So that number was too high to return, to refuse. And it's a beautiful watch. I feel as though it's a perfect size. I really wouldn't shy away from eBay. As far as authenticity goes, I'm not going to say I really don't know the process from start to beginning, but I'm sure the watches opened up and the movement is kind of looked over quickly, and somebody will kind of handle it as far as setting the time and examining the materials. eBay doesn't want to get a bad rap. They're a big company. They want you to buy on it. And I would say add a few things to your watch list. If the price is right and you like the item, go for it. I wouldn't shy away from it. eBay has your back as a buyer, so it's really not a bad way to obtain a watch. There are some opportunities to communicate outside the eBay safety wall, as far as you see like reputable companies that have good ratings throughout. Like if you Google them and so forth, you can work with them directly. Though having that little safety net with eBay, if you have any questions on authenticity, you're going to get it a once over, and you're not paying extra for that. So I think that's pretty huge.
Yeah, I think I would highlight two things as well. I have in the past purchased from eBay, but that was years ago. And I really had to trust my own eyes and my own gut instinct. And
Sure.
like you said, you always check up on the seller and their history on eBay. For me, that's
Absolutely.
always important. And I know people don't always sell watches or specialize in selling watches, but if I know what I'm buying, and if that seller has an otherwise stellar reputation, um, and I know eBay is going to be on my side as a buyer, like you said, because that's their policy:
For sure.
customer first, buyer first. Um, I have had the best experience at that time. That's how I bought my Datejust 16014, and I have been very happy with it ever since. Since then, it has actually only gotten better. The deals don't necessarily have gotten better because more people now trust on eBay, and more people are knowledgeable in a general sense about reference numbers and what to ask for.
Sure.
Um, but now eBay has very specific watch related and watch oriented promotions. They have a lot of coupons and discounts that keep coming up almost on a monthly basis. Um, and the second thing is now there is an eBay authorized but third party, that they don't reveal, authentication process, that I really appreciate. And in a lot of cases, it is either provided for free or paid by the buyer. There are some listings that I've seen that you can, for I think $80 extra
Yes.
charge,
Right.
buy into the authentication process. I don't know the nitty gritty of it, honestly. I was supposed to go to an eBay Watches event uh, last week on Thursday. I had to miss it out for personal reasons, so I couldn't ask that question. But in due time, I want to learn more about it because, like you said, some attention and care has gone into it, but you also know a lot of people informed me in the same way that it's a little too quick and seamless to think that it's a detailed and arduous and very rigorous process, right? So
Sure.
I want to know more, but I'm glad it is there to begin with.
Absolutely. Yeah. To have a peace of mind is always big, and corrected. There are some unknowns. It will we fully know the full process. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm sure the watchful eyes are doing so in good regard. So
Yeah, so let's welcome a couple of more people. St. Peter was there, peeping time. St. Peter actually says, "Congrats, Basil. I also picked up a new Cartier. Great."
congrats.
Herman Ingrates, welcome. Boston Collector says, "eBay is good for rare stuff. I think eBay is good for everything, but you really need to know what you are looking for. If you're
Sure.
outside of Rolex and Omega, you avoid most of the fakes. Again, too general of a statement. When you're looking for a vintage chronograph, for example, a lot of these um, manufacturers are using one of like three different movements, right? It's either going to be Valjoux, Venus, Laderon, um, and Lemania, right? More or less. And especially when it comes to Venus, there are so many different iterations of it. Sometimes people will build out of a cheaper chronograph, like a Breitling, just changing the bridge with something that is branded and engraved Breitling. So if you don't know what you're looking for, eBay and anything else can be a huge mess. So I wouldn't say that you can shy away from fakes just by avoiding the big brands. The fakes are always there. You always need to study up, know your shit,
Absolutely.
do your research before you jump in to purchase a particular model. And I think Basil is a great example of that too. You just have to take notes over the years. We all have our aspirations. We all have our desired models, and you have to wait for the right moments and take your time to patiently study and look at the best examples over time.
Absolutely. I did go with a vintage turnograph, and in buying it, there was I did have a little bit of a second thought on. I knew going in that the bezel wasn't original. It's the patina might not have been ideal, and it was just a watch that was hard to really put a dollar on. I
Mhm.
bought it at a price where I felt somewhat comfortable, but it was I was still a little unsure. And between the seller and eBay, it was a very seamless return. I did kind of step away from that wristwatch, but truthfully, it was nice to kind of have it on the wrist and kind of give it a quick round before sending it back to really kind of see where Rolex was born as far as a diving watch with a rotating bezel. I think we get you on mute.
So I
Yeah, you're
muted
fine.
myself and I'm not even aware. When I'm caught up with the conversation, it's in the conversation, I should say. Sometimes I forget these things.
Oh, for sure.
Um, it's I saw that watch on your Instagram. Actually, I was really excited about it. But at least you have gotten the Panerai more recently, and that again ties you back into the origins of the dive watch through a different trajectory. But
Yeah,
of course, that cushion case, of course, is iconic, and that was produced for Panerai by Rolex, and you can still see iterations of it by high horological brands that are in a completely different stratosphere, but still preserving that greatness of a classic design. Orange Hand says eBay's authenticity guarantees good for current production. I agree with this part. That was my feeling. He confirms another idea that I had: waste of time for vintage. They won't confirm originality or period correctness of parts. That's what I was afraid of, but I will, again, I will look into the details of that process. It just seems too quick and too too bureaucratic to go into that kind of detail that Orange Hand is implying. So it remains to be seen. Chris Clues, welcome. The original OC, welcome. Your friend Mike, nice to see you all, guys. Hit the like button, please, and subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate you all, and we are, as always, here for pure watch talk and watch talk only. The Chili Badger is here. Happy to watch it now, he says. I can't always catch up with the stream. Thank you for being here. Mamba is here as well. Thank you for being here. And JJ, thank you for sending out the link. Guys, subscribe if you haven't, and hit the like button.
Yeah, so just to add what you're saying, Lord, I mean, there's really only a handful of like Eric Wins and Menta watches, in the atmosphere for those kind of authentications and appraisals. It's hard to imagine that eBay's, authenticity, folks have, somebody of that caliber on retainer for them.
Yeah, and they're just, here's the other thing, they're just really rolling out this service in earnest. I'm sure over time they will get better. They might not be able to perfect it. Like you said, it would be very difficult for them, considering the potential volume of such sales.
Sure.
To have someone on retainer at the level of an Eric Wind. But yeah, I would like to learn more, and there is a lot of potential. So now, right before the live stream, actually, you told me that you are holding yet another surprise in store. You want to tease it out a little bit, or do you want to just go ahead and share that as well?
I can add a little lib to that notion. So, yeah, it timed out actually perfectly. When UPS delivers an item, it's not a set time. You have a window from the day or the time it leaves the door to the time it gets to your door. So I was given a roughly about a 6 to a 8 o'clock tonight window. The item did make it in. So without further ado, we'll check it out.
Let's go. And this is a watch-related, like, horological item, but not a watch. Is that right?
It tells the time, but it's a they have ties to watches, but it's not actually a watch.
Oh.
I'll actually give it away. So if we have some techie folks in the audience today, they may know that today was the day that a certain product was officially rolled out. That product is actually the new iPhone. So I have an iPhone.
All right.
14 Pro Max, still in box. And I'm going to open this bad boy up. I'm not going to do the setup. I'm not going to bore you guys with that, but so here we are, the new iPhone.
Nice.
So
at least it's not an Apple Watch.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't upgraded my device since they give you a wire still. Imagine that. Haven't upgraded my device since the iPhone 11 Pro Max. So running a little low on storage, so I took advantage of a nice trade-in offer that my provider is doing right now, and I'm paying pennies on the dollar for the newest iPhone. So on
Very
to
cool.
faster and better phone.
That's nice. I was just the AD, let's say, the retailer near me just gave me a phone call a few days ago saying like, oh, you dropped in 3 years ago and bought like iPhone whatever. iPhone 14 is just coming in stock in a couple of days. Would you like to get one? We would love to help you. And I said, call me back when iPhone 20 is released. And
Right on.
I'm basically like you. I get a new iPhone when more or less they stop working. So I
Right,
can't
right.
I can't catch up with their speed of releases and their particular schedule. It's all too fast for me.
Functionality is the most important thing. So as long as you're able to do what you need to do on a daily basis, I actually do have a little bit of a background in the wireless industry,
Hmm.
but I'll be the first one to say, from phone to phone, the things that they can do from the older model or last year's model, it's usually the benefits don't outweigh the costs. So sometimes it's better just to hold on to what you got if it's working properly.
Yeah, the only thing is of course, like, for us watch enthusiasts who are not even at the level of amateur photographers, the our smartphones are our main source of footage, right?
This is true.
We love taking photographs of our watches, close-ups, macro shots, wrist rolls. So I am interested in the smartphone technology as much as it helps me, get some footage for the viewers. So maybe I should think of upgrading quite soon. That can be my primary incentive.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting for a package. I was gonna see if it arrives, and if I get to unbox it. But so far, no news. It is out for delivery. It was supposed to be here yesterday. Um, it is it is actually a watch and something that I just chanced into, and it was a deal that I simply couldn't refuse.
Sure.
We'll see how it turns out. I have also a similar return policy that's pretty solid and set in stone. So if I don't like it, I can return it. But hey, when it arrives, I would be happy to share it. I was hoping to squeeze it in to this stream, but perhaps it's better that I can kind of leave the suspense and that's hanging in the air, and we can have another live stream perhaps. And of course, you would be more than welcome to join
Thank
as
you.
always, Basil.
Always leave the audience wanting more.
So what's next, if you don't mind me asking? What other models do you have on your mind? Are you pursuing anything at the current time, or do you have more long-term plans for your collection?
I'm out of state right now. I think because I've done so much this month where I do feel pretty content where I stand. However, there's a number of items that will remain on the radar if price permits. Maybe I make a move, though. Right now, there's not a definite grill or a highly desired piece that I'm looking to add to the collection. Um, so it'll be a work in progress, I'm sure, as many of us are. We go from content to hungry, and those gears may change, and I may be into my next piece before I know it. Though right now, my goal is to really enjoy these new wristwatches and get them on the wrist and just take them for what they are.
agree with you. I think I'm at a similar level. I added three pieces this year to what was a four watch and Rolex only collection. Um, so I'm expanding my horizons on the one hand, but on the other, it's also the case that, with what I'm willing to spend on watches and with my particular stage in life, I may have achieved everything I can, right? Within my basically within my own budget. So
Sure.
I think more or less this might be it for me until next time, in the sense that I need perhaps to reach another level of success in my business, or maybe on YouTube, to really get to the level of watches that I aspire to. I think with what I can get at this point in time, I'm I'm just very happy with my collection. I'm happy with my Rolexes. I'm happy with my non Rolexes. This,
Sure.
I approach it in the same way that I approach cigars. I love a nice Cuban, but a lot of times they're overpriced. And if you had a few already in your time, um, you don't necessarily desire them so intensely. Um, so you venture out and you pursue different flavors. You pursue the no habanos, the non-Cubans, and there's so much value and there's so much you can get. But again, I'm so picky that at the end I think I might end up with something like an 8-piece collection with my 4 or 5 Rolexes. Right now I have 5 at least, and then maybe some more vintage pieces that round the collection up in a very particular way, in a way
Sure.
that would both add value to my collection and to my rotation, but also express what I value in terms of horology and in terms of style and design. So I was actually really excited. I keep looking at my phone to see, the note for delivery,
For
but it's
sure.
not happening. Not for this one. But it's been a great conversation. The Again, Dirk Diggler is here. Dirk, it's so nice to see you. Junior Johnson just joined us. Yeah, it's always Junior has it spot on. It's always just one more. After I get this one, I'll be all set, right? Yeah. I've seen your face, Basil. You were nodding and you were saying yes, but you don't believe in anything I say, right?
It's all good. The variety is the spice of life. If you're never bored, you're never bored. You're on your toes. You're thinking with an open mind,
Yeah.
and that's how you go from an investor to a collector. It's really about going after what your mind, your heart, wants to try, wants to experience. And there's always something in the horizon. So when
Yeah.
that day comes, if it's right, make the most of it, go after it.
Yeah, I mean, look, as they say, the best deal is the next deal, right? So you never
You
know
bet.
what's around the corner. But honestly, since I've established this platform, also, since I get to go to these watch events more and more frequently, since I get to talk to people like you on this platform on a more regular basis, I'm really discovering, that the there are really about 1 or 2 ways that I can go, and maybe 2 or 3 watches that I can acquire with the money that I set aside, until I risk my mental, financial, and physical health on the one hand, or until I really get to another segment, because that's the thing. That's the challenge, and that's actually what has so far really motivated me in terms of my watch collection strategy, because I was always working on a limited budget for the next purchase, and that made me look into, hey, what can 4K get me in terms of an iconic chronograph? What can 3K get me in terms of a vintage watch in precious metal?
Sure. Well, Lord, you've seemed to cross a lot of those check boxes. So, kudos to you. The Breguet was an awesome ad.
Right.
That's a watch that definitely goes down in lore. The great Pontiff gives his flying rave reviews on the watch, so we
That's
know it
right.
must be
That's right.
good.
Yeah, same thing with the Reverso as well. I found
Yeah,
it was a I've always wanted a Reverso. I was always looking for a deal. The minute I saw one under 7K, and I happened to get it for 6.5, box and everything, it was just, I couldn't miss it, and it was
right.
the
Yeah,
same
I
Reverso
get it.
Grand Date as the Pontiff, as well as Archie Luxury's personal watch. So that is very meaningful to me as well. And I don't think it's a coincidence that I stepped out of that Rolex uh, only realm with these two very iconic watches that, even though they are my youngest watches, actually, like my Breguet is '01 and Reverso is '02. So those are the only two watches that belong to the 21st century and that belong to me.
Sure.
Um, Anything else, I have been basically sticking to one Rolex per decade kind of approach. I have something from the 60s, I have something from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and rights from 2000. Thank you for the upvote, Junior, and thanks for the suggestion, Whole Milk. Go indie next. Hey, what's coming in might be considered an indie before the name and before the practice even became popular. I will try to justify that argument, but we will see. Chili Badger says Reverso is a classic. It indeed is. Eric from Florida. Thank you for being here, Eric. Love you, man. Hit the like button, guys, and subscribe if you haven't. Um, but yeah, we are incorrigible, man. I keep telling me again, I'm almost done, or oh, I'm done after this next watch. But like you said, you have this moment, especially when you added not one but two or a few watches into your collection. You feel like, I'm probably not gonna be in the market for the long, for a long time yet. But
I think as humans, we're always looking to improve our situation. So when those opportunities arise, hey, might as well go for it, right?
yeah, Dirk says, by the way, I think this is one of the Reverso myths. I want a Reverso, just don't know if I would wear enough to justify the cost. Um, Look, I mean, I don't deny it, especially in precious metal. Reverso can be an occasion watch. It can be a really formal watch. It can be a very dressy watch. Um, and I'm not gonna go into the company lore and company shtick of saying, well, it's in many ways it's the original sports watch. We are in 2022, not in 1931, right? So it's not, Reverso is not a sport watch, but is it a sporty watch? Can it look sporty? By all means, with the night, with the way you style it, with the way you wear it, with the choice of the strap, right? Those canvas straps from the Casa Fagliano design that they keep coming out with every summer. since 2021. I think those are great, and you can always see some wrist shots and wrist rolls on this channel of me wearing it on my canvas straps. I think it's a great watch, and you can certainly wear it. I think since I got the Breguet and the Reverso, I have worn those two more than my Rolexes, even though I try to rotate it on a daily basis. I have worn my Reverso more than my Submariner, I think, which is just insane to me. You know, if you told me something like that 2-3 years ago, I would say, like, you know, impossible. You know, I love a Reverso, but I would say exactly like Dirk. I would love a Reverso, but you know, I would only wear it with a suit, or if I'm wearing a tweed jacket or something. But that's not how it works at all, actually. It's you can wear it every day, roll your sleeves up, and let it shine. And as it happens, Dirk, I know you're a family man and and you're a married man, but it is the watch that gets the most attention, bar none. I think it's the shape. It's just so unusual, and even in stainless steel, it's a high polish watch. So it's the watch that becomes a conversation piece really fast, even with people who don't know anything about horology or watches. You would have something to talk about,
And
which
it
is not
comes
a
in
bad.
and it comes in so many flavors too. There's something for everyone, you know, from you know to getting a dual time display to you know, an open case back to just the classic solid. You really can have fun, you know, kind of shopping and seeking out, you know, a style that you know that you find fits you best.
Yeah. Loose Tooth, actually, in that last Reverso event that I went to earlier this week in the JLC boutique, there was at least one person wearing the Reverso Squadra, and I think it looked damn good. But like Basil said, it wouldn't be my choice for a Reverso, but there have been so many models of it through the almost century of its existence. So many different dial colors, so many different complications since 1991, so many different styles and proportions,
For sure.
that you'll find the right one for your wrist. And trust me, you will end up wearing it much more frequently than you ever imagined.
It's I would be lying if I said I didn't have a reverse or two on my watch. So hey, if the price is right and the style is appropriate, I think it might be something I may look into. But you know, we'll take it one day at a time.
Why not? Why not? And it is, you know, look, some people will never shake off that it is an old man's watch, or it is a rich man's watch. There are certain perceptions about models and designs that are sometimes hard to shake off, and you just have to roll with it. You know, you'll find the right one for yourself, or the world is your oyster. You know, that's the beauty of horology. Like you implied earlier, you know, I always keep an open mind.
You got
You know,
to.
if I find a good design, to me, the heritage is important, but it doesn't have to say Rolex on the dial, right? It doesn't have to say Patek on the dial.
Sure.
I'm interested in the history of design. I'm interested in the history of the making of calibers. I'm interested in the horological innovation, but I'm not interested in brand names. I'm not interested in stereotypes. You know, I can go my own way.
Right. You know,
So it's
I would say I'm one to respect the different brands and their heritage and history. You know, there is some prestige in owning said devices, though. I think it's you know, being open minded to kind of those different stories. You know, those different designs and different elements that the other watches and brands have. That's really just how you go. You know, and make your collection complete.
This is actually a great question coming from the Chili Badger, because I got these two basically at the same time, right? A week apart or 10 days apart, in February of this year. Which one? Your Coke GMT 16710 or JLC Reverso gets most wrist wear? And I'm happy to say it's the Reverso. And, you know, again, I'm a Rolex guy. Check out the channel, while you're subscribing. The logo of the channel is FC Rolex, so I'm always going to be a fanboy for that one company, and I'm always going to continue looking into options in vintage Rolex. They're always going to be the core of my collection. But the Reverser just proved to be more versatile to me. Maybe it's because I already had the root beer in my collection. I felt like I needed a GMT Master 2. And I'm ecstatic still about that purchase. I think it was a great deal for me.
Sure.
But I ended up wearing the Reverso much, much more.
There you go. I mean, that's the thing. They're not going to be making. Yeah, that's with a vintage watch. They're not going to be making that watch that way ever again. And just having it, in your arsenal is fantastic. Especially knowing, a buyer like Lord is going to buy the right example at the right price, and it's going to get worn. Not every watch can be your favorite watch, but as long as it's getting wrist time and you enjoy owning it, it's definitely worth having.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you, Chili. Thank you for being here, and thank you for asking the question again. It doesn't necessarily, when you build a collection like Basil does, like I try to do, with some thought and emotion put behind it, it's really difficult to make these choices. Oh, do you like your GMT more or your Reverso? It's a difficult question to answer, but the way you put it, Chili, was so simple. Which one do you wear more? So thank you for phrasing it in that way, and this is the truth.
Yeah, it's a way you could actually answer, right? It's not asking which child is your favorite, and having that kind of mindset on the question.
Yeah, and again, to answer Dirk's question, and Eric added to it, I share your concern, Dirk. Haven't dressed up much since late 2019. Now that I am my own boss, now look, I am a proud nerd, not only watch nerd, but nerd. Period. I have been an athlete, so in many ways I'm a jock, but I was the dork among jocks and the jock among dorks. So I do dress up even when I don't need to. I do wear on certain occasions, sports jackets and other kind of stuff. So I err usually on the side of overdressing. But on the other hand, um, that has never affected my choice to wear a Reverso. I have worn a Reverso with a sports jacket. I have worn a Reverso just dressed like this with a denim shirt, sleeves rolled up. And I think it really wears so well. And sometimes it's so wrong, seemingly, that it ends up being right? In the sense that, oh, it actually works.
Sure.
Someone like Eric, someone like Dirk sees you wearing it with, with just a button-up shirt, sleeves rolled up, and it's like, okay, maybe I wouldn't wear it on the boardwalk or on the beach, with just swimming shorts. Then again, it's not just for the cocktail night. It's not just for a black tie event. It's not just for when I'm suited and booted.
Sure. And I think Lord, in general, you do tend to have a little bit more of a kind of a I guess I would say a sophisticated, mature taste. So it's I think it's definitely fitting of you and your personality and style.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliment. That's very
You bet.
generous of you. Not sure if I deserve it, but I'll take it. Um, so we are about to close. Thomas has joined. I missed the show. Have to watch the replay. That's why we are keeping these conversations right around an hour. But thank you for dropping by. Please hit the like button. And guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Chris, I think, has a quick question for you, Mr. Basil. May I ask, what future do you see for your collection, right? Your collection as a whole. Will your watches be passed down to your family?
It's something that as a single guy, that I don't have a particular person per se that I'd be looking to pass them down to, though. As the days turn, I could see that changing over time, and hopefully having some younger family to pass down. Definitely kind of keeping the heritage. I think when you have those people, it's nice to kind of give them part of your legacy and kind of let it live on. It really kind of takes a watch that a lot of us, including me, think is a monetary thing into like an heirloom, which I think is definitely like it's a timeless thing. And I have a couple of watches from my late grandfather that they may not be my first on my wrist. And may throw them on around the house. A little smaller in size, a little simplistic in mechanicalism. But yeah, it's nice to kind of have them, hold them, and kind of think back to that loved one.
Those are the best watches, and those are pretty much why we remain in this hobby and why we preserve that kind of fashion. Like you said, they might not get the most wear, they might not be most complicated, but really they are the anchors that connect you to just the passion for wristwatches, especially. Like my Submariner is my simplest watch in so many ways, but it's also my best. And I think that wouldn't have changed, if it were something less recognizable, less common, because it is the watch that was passed down to me. And I actually have thought about this question in so many ways, since I'm also single like you, Basil. And since my father passed away very, very young, I have some connections to certain organizations in this country and over the world for orphans and half orphans. So if I end up not building a family of my own, I think I will just leave behind a plan to get these watches auctioned off, and the funds going into a charity that would benefit the education and care of children, and especially children who have lost a parent or both their parents when they were young.
That's truly a terrific thing, Lord.
Yeah, because I mean, again, for me, it's this is a hobby, this is a passion, but it's also something that to me is very strongly connected to the question of family, like you, right? For me, getting to wear my father's watch on a daily basis is something that keeps me going in so
Yeah.
many different avenues and aspects of life. But this is all the more relevant for the hobby. So if I can't have that kind of direct genealogy, that possibility of passing my watch down to someone else, I would like that to be somehow transmitted and transformed, both in terms of my personal legacy, but also in terms of just material, substantive help
Sure.
to a younger generation of people who would know, oh, okay, I have a scholarship this year and it was funded by this weirdo from last century who was passionate about watches. Maybe I'll look into that. What is
Sure.
this? What is this stupid little machine that people put on their wrists that
Right.
tell you time? um, who knows? Maybe it doesn't sound to be such a bad plan to me as a as an option. If I don't have that organic line to pass it
Sure.
down.
Yeah. No, I think it sounds like a terrific plan, and it's crazy to think we're simply just custodians of these pieces. A good watch is going to last years and decades and centuries, even if taken care of properly. It's our kind of duty to kind of keep them going, keep them right, and we will carry on and go to a different, depending on your religion, different aura. But the watches will kind of stay on planet Earth for as long as Earth is turning. So pretty
I
cool
think
stuff.
so. I think there's a I was trying to be funny, but I don't really I don't really have a great sense of humor. But there is a future to the mechanical watch for sure, and I'm sure generations to come they will keep discovering and rediscovering uh, the the mystery and charm of these little machines that seem to encapsulate so much in such small amount of real estate, right?
Yeah,
Imagine having that sort of artistry and that sort of history just strapped on your wrist. It's the most beautiful thing.
absolutely.
All right, we're closing, but I want to give a shout out to people in the chat who are so supportive. This says great show. Thanks LH3 and Basils. Thank you. This Big Sal. I'm a bit late to the party. Glad to see our buddy Basil here with Lord. Can't wait to watch the replay. Upvote, please, guys. Upvote, and thank you so much, Sal. The replay will be very enjoyable indeed. Uh, Upvote, help out Lord. He's an individual and has a unique view on what we like, watches. Thank you so much. This says get Lord to 1,000. Guys, please,
Definitely
yes. Spread the
do it.
word. Share this link far and wide. I have been doing a lot of 1 hour content recently, something that you can easily suggest to your friends, share with any number of watch enthusiasts. So please do that and help me gain a little more subscribers and help me get the channel monetized. In the meantime, of course, there are a number of ways you can do to help. It's in the crawling ticker. It's in the description. I've also just sent out the links. But the most important thing for the health of this channel, for the sustenance of this channel, and for uh, kind of having this platform in perpetuity, as it were. Um, the most important thing is to have more subscribers, is to get to that 1,000 threshold. So please be generous with your time, be generous with your care, and spread the word. I really, really appreciate it. Chili says, this, you're in my top 10. Keep going. I love this. I love these. Junior says, I've picked a good friend who would enjoy my watches to pass them on to. That's a great idea as well. Chris, connection with the family. Great show, guys. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, that's the most important thing. Family always comes first, and sometimes it's the family of your birth, sometimes it's the family you choose, and it's always, I think, all important. Thomas, I hope you're feeling good. The community loves and supports you. Don't rush things, one day at a time, my friend. Yes, guys, please. Also, I'm gonna do this again. Go check out Bezel's Instagram account. He has a lot of great horological content, mostly based on his collection, which you just saw here. And also check out my friend This's YouTube channel. I know he does a lot of work these days in the Archiverse, but more importantly, he has his own channel, which I'm sure he's rebuilding in time. So please help him with that as well.
Definitely.
And Junior says, good to see the show at a time that's not so late for me. Hey, we try our best. And again, guys, thank you so much. Please support these valuable members of our community, Bezos, and Desordis, who provide us with so much personal and horological content. Spread the word about the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button. And if you want to support the channel in some other ways, you know how. I'll join you in the next one. Love you all. And stay tuned for more passionate and pure watch talk. Take care all.